Hey, it's 5 o'clock.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. I'll make a motion to approve the October 14th regular meeting minutes.
I will second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Any opposed?
I'll make a motion to approve the October 14th non-public meeting minutes.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I didn't say aye verbally that time, but I meant it, man.
I heard
Meant
you.
it. It was my intention to say aye.
I heard you.
Okay. Announcements. The Select Board will meet on the following dates at 5 p.m. Monday, November 10th and Monday, November 24th. Town offices will be closed November 11th in observance of Veterans Day. Any citizens wishing to be listed on the Select Board's agenda should notify Town Hall before noon the Thursday before the scheduled meeting. All meetings are held here in Town Hall and also available on Zoom, and the Zoom information is on the town's website. Scott, Town Manager's Report.
Sure, thank you. To start off, the 26-27 budget updates. Ann and I have reviewed the department budgets, and we have met with the department heads over the past 2 weeks. The next step will be the 26-27 budget will go to the Budget Committee for review, and Ann and I will meet with the Budget Committee and the Capital Improvement Plan Committee on Thursday, November 6th, here at Town Hall. We have made some good progress on the budget and have been able to reduce it considerably from what the department heads had initially submitted. So I think you'll be happy with what has taken place so far and possibly what we can do over the next month or so. The 2026 Hazard Mitigation Plan update. The Hazard Mitigation Planning Committee will start meeting on Wednesday, November 5th, with Homeland Security, Emergency Management, and Hubbard Consulting, the town's hired consulting firm, to start the update of the 2021 Town of Plymouth Hazard Mitigation Plan. The plan is required to be updated every 5 years. Updates to Hemi Baker TV staffing. I'm happy to report that Dan Salzer has agreed to take over as station manager. I want to thank Jonathan Picard for the time he served as station manager. Jonathan will remain as the assistant manager as he is committed as a full-time student at Plymouth State University. Safety Joint Loss Management Committee update. Over the past year, the Safety Committee has been working with departments to lower our claims through programming and training. The committee will meet tomorrow, Tuesday, October 28th, and I'm happy to report that during this period, July through October 24th, we did not experience any claims with our property casualty and workers' compensation coverage. Over the last year in our workers' compensation program, we have dropped our experience mode from 1.46 to 1.13, which is a substantial decrease in the insurance industry of dropping your experience mod, which resulted in just a minor increase for the upcoming year. And in our property casualty program, we've dropped our experience mod from 1.35 to 1.06. This is a great accomplishment, which helps stabilizing our expenses and our insurance lines. And with that drop on our property casualty program, we lowered our premium by $2,600 going into the next year. So congratulations to the town departments for really providing due diligence in their operations in every department.
What is it is it just the lack of claims, or is there like policies or procedures? What is it that helps us drop that number?
It's claims.
It's just
The
claims.
experience mod is specifically just on claims.
Yep.
Because typically you want a one-for-one, dollar in, dollar out.
Yep.
And you can see where we were. We were costing them $1.65, $1.46 on every dollar we were paying. So
Yeah.
we've done really well over the last couple of years in being able to reduce our experience mod. Russell Street drainage construction, the project is moving along as scheduled. The project closed out on Thursday, October 16th, ahead of the schedule for 2025, with new road surface, sidewalks in place, and final pavement to take place in the spring of 2026. Plymouth Village water and sewer construction, water main installation construction continues on Reservoir Road and Highland Street. As we receive weekly updates, we keep residents informed in our weekly newsletter and on the Town of Plymouth Facebook page. Busting myths and misinformation, I'm working with Dan and Jonathan in developing a Google form, which they developed to use in some of the programming that they've done in order for people that watch the programming to respond back and ask questions. So Dan and Jonathan are working on that, a Google form to use for that, and hopefully I'll have that by our next meeting. Plymouth State University LSSA Service and Support Agreement. I have worked with Plymouth State University to update the agreement as discussed with PSU at our previous select board meetings. So we have that agreement in the signature file tonight, which represents exactly what we discussed with President Burks and Vice President Claiborne. On another note, I will be meeting with PSU with regards to a contract for policing services, as Plymouth State University Police will disband in February of 2026.
That's big news.
Why
It's huge.
why are they disbanding?
The chief is retiring. The deputy chief is Chief Hutchinson's wife, so she has other priorities in her life now.
Sure. Yeah.
And they haven't been able to hire anybody, so they've made a choice to disband their police department and provide funding to the town of Plymouth to take over policing the campus. That's at very early stages. We haven't met on this
Yeah.
yet to figure out what that looks like.
So I assume this
But-
is above and beyond what we previously negotiated in the LSSA.
That is correct. There'll be a separate contract for policing services.
Okay.
I assume this will require us to take on more police officers for the Plymouth Police Department.
We would have to hire additional officers in my eyes, at the expense of the university. So more to come on that after, I think I have an initial meeting with them on November 4th. So I'll be able to fill you in on the 10th on what that meeting consisted of.
Interesting.
Additional items, my October town manager's message is up on the website. And as always, the select board strategic priorities for 25-26 are posted on the website. But we always encourage folks to ask their questions, concerns, and comments via email, or my door is always open to accept visitors that have questions or concerns. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Any questions for Scott? Okay, too early for the public hearing. Let's skip over that. What's that? Yeah, that I think should be relatively quick. Let's take the Michael Courier appointment to the Nonprofit Review Committee. I've got a letter here from Mike that says, I would like to have Mark Halloran appointed to the Nonprofit Committee for the Town of Plymouth. He's worked with me for the past 3 years, and his input is invaluable.
And what we discovered is that both Mark and Mike did not have current appointments for the committee. With Mike being chairperson, we didn't ask him for a letter, so it's just a renewal of both of them.
Should we stagger those term expiration dates?
You can, they both will usually stay together.
If we stagger them, then we just keep locking them in. Just got to convince one of them each time, not two that way.
So you can initial the one that's probably in your signature folder right there. We can change whatever date that you want there.
So I'll make a motion to appoint Mark Halloran to the nonprofit review committee.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? So the term on that one is expires on April 1st of 2028. Any further discussion? All those in favor of the appointment of Mark Halloran? Aye. Any opposed?
And then I'll make a motion to appoint Michael Courier to the Nonprofit Review Committee as well.
Second.
Any discussion? Do we want to adjust the year on that, or do we want it also to be April 1st, 2028?
I'm okay leaving the term as is.
I'm fine with
Are
it.
the other terms staggered?
Always.
Well, on this committee, like, on this,
Only the two of
There's
them.
no one else on the
Oh, there's
committee.
two.
Only the two of them.
I think it's a good idea that we do
yeah,
stagger them.
I would say we
All right,
stagger it then.
Then we make Mike Courier's 2029.
Can we go that
To
long?
provide continuity if we,
Yeah.
they'll probably go together, but
Okay.
that sounded.
You want me to just initial next to the change?
That would be great. Just change it and initial it. That would be wonderful. And that was 29.
Sure. We'll rope him in for as
Did
long
you
as we can
second
get.
that?
Yes, I did.
Any other discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Abstentions? Well, that only took 3 minutes.
Got any signature file stuff that's quick?
We do have a, I don't know if it's going to be quick or not, a review from the town clerk. It's on your agenda.
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't
She-
know how long that was going to be.
Here or not here? I think
She's
that
not
one
here. There's a request in the package.
in the packet, yeah.
Did you have an extra paper copy of the packet or not?
Right there.
Thank you.
Not in
Those other
order,
things.
probably.
Good, thanks.
I do have some signature items if
Why don't we hit the signature items, just in case this one turns into a bigger conversation?
So, first one that I have an MS1 and an MS1V. This is the value of the town as of April 1st, 2025, for the 25 tax year. The value is going from, last year was $747,194,688, 747,194,688. And now it's going to $815,230,010, an increase in value, $68 million.
It's a good return on
So
investment.
that will assist in your tax rate when we go to set that later in November. But it does mean that not everybody's taxes is going to go down because this value goes up. Usually the tax rate goes down, but someone's value went up to get this additional value. So keep that in mind. So I
Does
just,
it, do you have any indication of that, if that's commercial, non-commercial?
I don't.
No indication
I'm
of that
sorry.
yet?
I can
That's
have
fine.
more information and email it out to the board for you.
Yeah, I'm always
Okay.
curious to know, so, sometimes it's, commercial properties go up and then it's great for the citizens. Sometimes it's,
Right. Yeah.
because of housing, we've seen recently the
I
like
would say
manufactured, lower income homes end up going up the
I would
most.
probably say it's a standard home that is increasing the value because that's where we're seeing the sales.
Yep.
Sales are significant still in our community.
What's the date these values are taken of?
April 1st, 2025. And that goes to through the tax year of March 31st, 2026. Everybody's year runs a little bit different. So I just have two items. One is the town's MS1. The other one that the board is also asked to sign is the MS1. And this is for Plymouth Village Water and Sewer, just so that they can actually send their bills out. Their value, I don't know what it was last year. This year, it's 542 million. That's what their value is, and that's what they use to set their rates. So, signature on either of those, please. Keep going.
Yeah, I think we can get one more.
This one is I'll do the easy one first, sorry. So we have a property on Fairgrounds Road in which the owners, 312 Fairgrounds Road, they applied for a charitable exemption for a house of worship. Under the RSA 7223(3), the house of worship has to be in the has to be owned, used, and occupied by the religious entity in order for it to qualify for an exemption of that status. Therefore, the assessors are recommending, because it is not owned by the religious entity, it's owned by the two owners, and it be denied for this coming year. So it's not advised, so place in there to sign. And one more item that I'll hold.
Yeah, hold that one because we're right at time. All right. So we'll step away from the signature file for a moment and go back to our public hearing. In accordance with NHRSA 4114A, the Plymouth Board of Selectmen are holding our second public hearing for the purpose of taking public comment regarding the proposed acceptance of a cross-access easement for Midstate Community Development Map 110 Lot 046 at 36 Main Street. This easement follows conditions set by 2022 Planning Board site plan approval for the property and further reviewed and approved at the April 2025 Planning Board meeting. The requested cross-access easement has further been reviewed and approved by the Plymouth Conservation Commission at their July 2025 meeting. The purpose of this easement is to give the town alternative connection from Gould Terrace by creating a connection from Russell Street and Main Street. These hearings are being held right here. Joseph, thank you for attending. Any notes, updates, comments that are important since last time for us to discuss or address?
No, you summarized it perfectly. There's no change since the last hearing. As you said, it is a requirement under the RSA to hold 2 public hearings, followed by a vote to accept an easement like this. I do have, of course, again, the easement language, the easement plan, if folks have not had an opportunity to take a look at that yet, but essentially the easement deed was reviewed and approved by the town's attorney, the language of it, that is. And we also have an easement plan, which we have a stamped Mylar of, which is ready to be recorded, contingent upon, of course, the select board approving or determining to approve following these public hearings. The easement goes across the upper of the 2 parking lots on parcel 11046, which is the parking lot accessed from the end of Gould Terrace. It is a 25-foot access easement across the portion of that parking lot that is not taken up by parking. So it is that access aisle. And this is a following up on a condition that was placed by the planning board on its 2022 approval of the site plan review related to the change of use on that property from a bank to a medical center. It was also a requirement of a 2006 site plan approval that is providing the town with this easement, but that easement did never get documented. So here we are. It was a condition again in 2022, and Midstate has gone ahead and provided us with this documentation. I'm happy to provide any more information, answer any questions, but otherwise I would recommend holding the hearing tonight and then scheduling a vote at the next meeting on whether or not to accept it.
All right, any questions from the board? Any commentary from the public on this item? All right, seeing none, we will close the public hearing at 5:19 p.m. And take it back to the board. We can vote on this now, correct?
No.
Not until next
But
meeting.
we have to wait until the
November
next.
10th. November
So we've had the 2 hearings, but then we still have to wait to take the vote.
Unfortunately, per the RSA, it's
Gotcha.
a little strange. So the hearings must be between 10 and 14 days apart, and then between 7 and 14 days after the second hearing, you have the opportunity to vote
Okay.
on what you had those 2 hearings on. So it's actually quite a specific set of windows of time for hearing 1, 2, and vote.
I guess we're lucky that Veterans Day didn't fall on a Monday.
Fortunate, absolutely.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Joseph. Thank you. Thank you.
We'll go back to the signature file.
All right, so the last item I have for the board to sign, this is a Jeopardy assessment, and this is at 84 Texas Hill Road. Basically, this allows the town to receive taxes for any mobile home that will be demolished and replaced. So what we have done is we have created a Jeopardy assessment. This property, they can't move the mobile home until after they pay the taxes on it. So we have a warrant here for $955, which the owner of the property will pay, get their assessment off, their mobile home off the property, and be allowed to put a new one on it. But that is, it's called a Jeopardy assessment, so we all learn something new every day. And that's the only thing I had for signature folder, I believe.
All right.
Unless, Scott, you didn't have anything.
Just the support and services agreement with Plymouth State. You should
Yeah,
have that in-
let's take that one
you
while
should
we're
have
doing
that in
signature
your
items.
Do you have that in your signature file?
We do. So this is just and everybody should have a copy of it in their packet as well. This is we met with Plymouth State, we effectively agreed to some terms, and this is just your formalization of that set of terms.
That is correct.
Anything different in here than what we've discussed previously?
Nope, it's exactly what we discussed of the $275,000, making quarterly payments of $68,750. And they have continued with the university tuition credits for town employees.
Yep. And then an hourly rate for
Hourly
police and
rate of-
fire detail coverage.
To increase by 2.5%. July 1st, 26, and 2.5% in 27.
Perfect.
Those are really the changes that we discussed. The rest of the agreement stays in place as written back in 2020.
All right. Just any further discussion about that from the board?
No, I'm good with it.
Right, we should vote to adopt this, I would think.
All right, I'll make a motion to adopt the amended Town Safety LSSA Services and Support Agreement with Plymouth State.
And just to modify your thing before it even gets seconded, it looks like it's just Scott and I who need to sign it.
Oh.
So if you could just modify it to,
So I'll modify it to say and have Scott and Zach be the signers.
Second.
any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I was untimely with my vote, but it was in favor.
There you go.
Oh, I don't need to sign it.
Oh, you don't, no. You can just pass that along. Okay, that was an easy one. Let's go back and hit the request from Amy Lee to formally recognize. Okay, so this says, "Dear Select Board members, I'm writing to respectfully request that Friday, December 26th be designated as a paid holiday for Melinda and that the town clerk's office be closed for the day. While the town clerk has the authority to determine the office's hours, I'm asking as a courtesy and in the spirit of the holiday season that this day be formally recognized as a paid holiday this year. Thank you for your consideration, Amy Lee, town clerk." My first question about this request is how it applies to the Me Too statement on the union contract with
Police and fire.
police and fire and dispatch.
That only, that only reflects back to the actual union contract with the Plymouth professional firefighters.
I thought, well, At least I thought the other one was
The
talking
language on the
about,
proposed
any
fire
town.
contract.
On the
says
fire one,
any-
but that's not in place. The only one we have in place is with the police contract, which relates only to the fire
the
contract.
police only relates to the fire.
Yes.
Okay, so we don't have an active contract that creates significant complexity for
No.
us.
I mean, I think in fairness, this, doing this, be in all transparency, and I think it's important for the board to know, this is about a value of $9,600. When you look at all 42 employees, if you were to apply this across the board, other than just to Amy and Melinda.
Yeah, and it's $9,600 of lost productivity, not of actual cost.
Is that just this December 26th or going
Probably-
forward?
I think it has to do with the timing.
Being that it's on a
Right.
Friday.
Right, it's Friday, but next year when Saturday, Sunday. Assuming it's a Monday, are we saying every 26th or we saying just this 26th?
It says this day.
It does say.
It's only a request
Says this
for,
year.
it looks like it's only a request for 2025. That's how I would interpret the request.
Employees do, and I'm not speaking against or for this, but they do have the right, as the town clerk, this individual can set her office hours. That individual being salary. The other individual who works in her office is hourly. The individual could close the office for the day and say to the other employee, you can take vacations, personal time, as any department can do the same. I just wanted to, the town hall could do that as well if, the employees all get together and say, we're going to take a personal day and it works. We could ask for that day to be closed, but
Which is typically how I would suggest managing it.
Yes.
And does it, if the town hall and all services are closed that day, does it create any hardships on citizens who might need to come in and?
any day that we're closed is a hardship.
It's true.
Well, I'm thinking more this time of year because
End of year.
end of year, lots of,
But again, that's, the town clerk can pick and choose which days she's open and which days she's closed, and she can set her own hours per RSA. It's the individual that is her deputy who potentially, they could work just 2 days a week, and that would be the schedule of the town clerk. She sets her own schedule.
I'm concerned that it would set a precedent or beg that we evaluate the policy for all employees if we're gonna do that in this situation, and I'm not in favor of that at this time.
Agreed.
I would concur.
I would recuse myself from the conversation.
For obvious reasons.
Fair,
I mean,
fair
I'm
point.
taking the day.
Fair
No, I'm
point.
only kidding.
Fair point.
I do, I would think that it would be a valuable day for the clerk's office to be open, but that's not our call anyway, since she has the autonomy to set her own hours. But I would think that if it's probably a day that many members of the public would have off and might be the only time they can get to the office. They might be spending time with families themselves, but at the same time, it might be an opportune time to get things done in a month that's usually busy and difficult to do things otherwise. So that's kind of a tangential issue, though.
And my concern, if we set it as precedent, now we've got the entire town.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Right.
Let's just say for the sake of argument, we have a snow day.
And we're paying double time for highway crew, or time and a half, or whatever it is.
Yeah, I think my opinion is that we gracefully decline this request.
And maybe, I've seen it handled differently elsewhere, is that maybe we have a holiday during the year that we currently have, and we reserve a floating holiday to be named each year, so that if a situation like this occurs, that we've got one built in. So like maybe we observe Juneteenth right now, maybe that doesn't have to be a designated holiday. Unless we always follow federal, I don't know if that's the case.
We do.
We do.
June, that is not a holiday. Right now, I think there's 11 holidays per year that the employees have.
But it is set at the state level, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
federal level.
Are there any holidays that we designate separately?
No. Occasionally Christmas Eve, but again, that depends on when it falls. If it falls on a Friday afternoon, Scott says you guys can all go home. I'll stay here and answer the phone, But,
Okay.
Scott doing his best Santa impression.
right. Yeah, doesn't he?
Any other comment on this? Do we consensus with a decline of this request?
Yeah.
Yes.
I believe so.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Moving on. It is 5:30. Back to public hearings. Plymouth Selectboard is holding a public hearing in accordance with RSA 3195B for the acceptance of unanticipated funds from New Hampshire Primex, the town's property and liability insurance carrier. The funds received are in the amount of $34,345.49. These funds are the town's payroll portion of the settlement agreement reached in this claim and have been paid directly by the town of Plymouth to the claimant. This hearing is being held here in Town Hall. Scott, any additional commentary on this?
This is a case that dates back to 2017, and a case we discussed in non-public a few weeks ago with regards to the settlement agreement, and it's Primex, our property casualty carrier, paying back the funds of the claim that we initially had to pay out to the claimant.
All right. Any questions from the board? Any questions from the public or commentary? All right, seeing none. 5:32, I will close the public hearing. Bring it back to the board. We can vote on this one, right?
Yep.
Please, yep.
I'll make a motion that we accept the funds in the amount of $34,345.49 from New Hampshire Primex that is a result of the settlement agreement between the town and an individual.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And, all right, on to the recycling department. Got an invoice here from HB Logging.
Zach, we may have a little discussion on this. I didn't know if you'd want to jump to new old business with the introduction.
Oh, so that we can address
You'll
our
let them out?
guests?
Yes.
I think that's a good idea. That's New Hampshire Electric Co-op. Intro of the new CEO, Mike Jennings.
Absolutely.
And you can join us at the table if that's more comfortable for you with the laptop.
Yeah, happy to. Thank you. It's great to meet everybody this afternoon. Thank you for having me. Good to see you again, Mr. Lamoureux. Just give me one moment. I'm used to Teams more than Zoom here, so. There we go. And I'll sit down so you can see that. Well, good afternoon. So I'm Michael Jennings. I'm the president and CEO of New Hampshire Electric Cooperative and also New Hampshire Broadband. So we're headquartered right here in Plymouth, New Hampshire. So I've been in this job now since January 1st, but I've been with the co-op about 6 years. I actually used to be a Plymouth resident, really enjoyed my time living in town here. I was down over on Texas Hill Road. And thought it would be a good opportunity for me to come introduce myself and really discuss, because Plymouth is really important to our business, how we can work together more in the future, open up this channel for conversation for future discussions. So just, I'll be quick today, but I wanted to talk to you a little bit about our two businesses. So one, the electric business, and two, the newer one, the broadband business.
talk a bit about our employees, because we have a significant number of employees that work and live right here in the Plymouth area, and also what we're doing with the community. We've been pretty involved in the Plymouth community in the past, and would love to continue that engagement and support in the future. Afterwards, happy to talk about anything and everything you'd like to discuss. Or, if you want to follow up with me afterwards, I'll leave my contact information for you. So a little bit about the cooperative. We were founded in 1939. So it's about 85 years or so now that we've been in business. And we were founded to bring electricity to areas of the state that did not have electricity. So essentially, when the co-op got started, it was just a bunch of people in rural New Hampshire that said, hey, we don't have power. Why don't we start our own power company? And the federal government would give loans out to people to start their own power company at the time, and that's how we were created. So you can see here on the map, the green area, that's our service territory. And essentially in 1939, those were the parts of the state that didn't have power, or if they did have power, it was probably just somebody with one generator that ended up hooking up a few houses over time, and then eventually the co-op integrated them into their business. So from then, we've grown pretty significantly. Some areas that used to be just really rural camps, like the Lakes region or Mount Washington Valley, have really exploded over the years, and we're actually the second largest electric utility in the state now. We serve over 70,000 members, and that's about 86,000 meters that we serve across, basically from Canada almost down to Massachusetts, from Maine to Vermont. We are pretty spread out across the state, but we're really headquartered right here in Plymouth. And you can see in the map that a lot of the towns that are entirely green, we have partial service in a lot of towns, but a lot of the towns that are entirely green are Plymouth and the surrounding towns to Plymouth. So just within the town of Plymouth itself, we have about 2,200 members, about 3,000 active accounts that we serve, about 3,000 meters. And we have our Plymouth district, which is our largest district. It has the most line workers that work out of it. We have 15 employees there, of which most of them are line workers or supervisors, that manage, just between the 15 of them, 775 miles of electric line, which is pretty significant. The 3 substations that we have that feed just this town are Fairgrounds, Green Street, and then we have one over in Bridgewater by the wood burning plant. So the other 2 are on Fairgrounds Road and Green Street. For broadband, this is the newer business for us. This was founded in 2020, and we started this with the same mission as our electric company. So folks got together to bring an essential service to people that didn't have it in the state, which was electricity at the time. In 2020, the essential service was broadband that folks didn't have. Think of folks were sent home during COVID. They couldn't do their medical appointments from home. They couldn't do work from home. They had kids trying to do school from home. You couldn't do any of that unless you had a good internet connection. So our members supported us going into the broadband business, and it really aligned with that original mission we had to bring that essential service to folks that didn't have it. So this is something we've been very passionate about and expanding it. Currently, we basically serve the entire town of Plymouth today. So folks, if they wanted fiber internet, they're free to sign up. We have a partnership with a company called Connexon that does some of the services for us, like the call center, but everything is owned by us as the cooperative, so we fully own the business. And we offer kind of the state-of-the-art technology, so it is 100% fiber. We offer anywhere from 100 megabit to a 2 gig plan, but that's actually capable of today offering a 10 gig service for folks. We just don't sell that because most folks' computer equipment can't handle a 10 gig connection, and they would probably go to connect and see they're only getting a gig because of what's in their laptop and get upset that they're not getting the full speed. So it's definitely built for the future, and we have all the traditional add-ons that folks might want for their broadband connection, whether that's managed Wi-Fi or pods to extend a Wi-Fi mesh network in your house. If you're used to having your cable channels, then you could procure DirecTV through us, or we'll help you out with getting all the different streaming services, to your heart's content. So today, since 2020, we've actually built that broadband network pretty significantly. We pass 40,000 of our meters, so about half of our service territory currently has it available. The fairgrounds is the area in town that serves the most of the town. And just off of that alone, we have about 3,800 passings of folks that can have their service available, including all the businesses downtown, residences in the town. Of the 230 employees that we have that work at our company, 149 of those are based right here in town. So we have a number of buildings that we own and operate in town here, but 149 of those include our Plymouth district, a lot of our operations personnel, all of our IT and finance and member engagement folks. Basically, all of our headquarters core business functions are located in Plymouth. Unfortunately, they're kind of spread out between 5 different buildings. We've had facility needs for a while now, and one of our biggest needs is the ability to get all of our office personnel in one building, something that I hope to discuss with the town at a future date, but I don't have any concrete plans to discuss today. What really guides what we do is our new strategic plan. It's from 2024 to 2029, so we have a few years left, and the core mission, vision, and values in that are pretty simple and straightforward. They're reliable and affordable electric and broadband. That's what we work for. Our vision is really just we work for our members. There's a lot more words and a wordsmith there, but we work for our members. And our values are definitely safety, integrity, and our membership. The 5 areas of focus that we try to deliver every single day are reliability, affordability, our member experience, and then employee experience, because we can't do any of those things without good employees, and then continuing to do our broadband build out that we're focused on. And lastly, before I ask if you guys have any questions or anything, a big part of the cooperative is the NHEC Foundation. So this is the charitable giving arm of our organization. The foundation has really focused a lot on Plymouth in the past few years. We've donated about $175,000 to nonprofit organizations in this town over the last three years. There's a long list here, but we help out a lot of youth teams, the Spare Dental Program, you name it. We've also been trying to participate in a lot of different events too. So if you guys are having a big event and you'd like us to participate, please let us know. We're happy to come out, whether it's with bucket trucks or some cool fiber strands to show people how the technology works. We're happy to be there and be more engaged in the community. But with that being said, I just really wanted to make sure I could introduce myself to you in case you ever needed anything from the co-op. Like I said, the town is extremely important to us. I've been spending a lot of time with the other organizations in town, whether it's Midstate or the university, having the conversation of, how can we work together to make Plymouth a better place for everybody. And I feel like the more we can partner with the other organizations in town, the more we can help do that. But obviously, you guys are the most important part of that. So would love to hear, your ideas and stay in contact in the future for any opportunities as well.
Do we have a pilot agreement with the co-op?
What's that?
Do we have a pilot agreement with the co-op?
No.
So I think
They pay taxes.
then
Even though it's a nonprofit, they're not
Yes.
tax
We get a
property
copy of the
taxes.
presentation.
Oh,
Can you email that to me?
Yeah, absolutely. And we are probably in most towns that we operate in the largest taxpayer just by nature of the utility plant we operate.
my apologies for my lack of knowledge.
Oh, no worries.
I'd like to
Teach
personally
me.
thank you for your support in getting our solar array up.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Very appreciated.
Especially since I think there were some special accommodations made
Given the
to
phasing,
put
one phasing.
Yeah, to put that large array on a single phase line,
Yes.
which is
yes,
somewhat
that,
abnormal for an array of that size.
that rings a bell now.
Yeah.
I recall the, yeah.
Pardon?
It's complicated to do that.
It wasn't your standard practice for us, but, we can make it work. So.
I appreciate that.
And really appreciate you coming in.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So I'll leave
Faces.
some business cards on the corner there for you. If any of you ever need to reach me, please feel free to reach out anytime.
While we have Mike here, any questions or comments from the public? All right, just
Great.
Figured I would
Thank you.
engage
Yeah, thanks for the
everybody.
time.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I can stop sharing it now, too. There we go.
Okay, Conservation Committee updates presented by Joan Turley.
Okay. Little heads up sheets to give you an idea of what I'm going to be talking about. But if you remember last time I was here, I said that I'd be meeting with the select board once a year. We are advisory to you, so we're only as good as what you are. Anyhow, so I'm filling you in on what's happened since the last time I saw you and anything that's truly important to you. We're still a board of 7. We're full, and we have 5 alternates, and probably can't keep them away. The other day, we had everybody in attendance, and I thought, oh my gosh, it's like we're going to have a dance party or something. And then throw Ted in. And thank you, Ted. Ted's been a really great representative from your organization, helpful to us in many ways. So, this is what has happened in the last year. I'd say we had a presentation the other night with the contractor that did our NRI, is in the process of doing our NRI. And I'd have to say we got more than we bargained for in the very best way. It was amazing. We came up with a number of properties that they were going to do site visits on. I sent out 42 letters asking people if we could visit their property, and we ended up, they ended up visiting 26 properties across town, pretty much all over, to do inventory of natural resources. And they found a butterfly that's never been seen anywhere else in the state. They found it was really cool, wasn't it, Ted? It was pretty amazing. We were awed by what they found and what, several rare types of plants. And one of the things that they really pointed that was encouraging was Plymouth has an exceptionally large amount of unfragmented land, so the moose population is very healthy in around the town of Plymouth and around, where in other parts of the state it's not healthy at all. But it's because of our large portions of unfragmented land. So anyway, they're right on schedule. They gave us this report. They'll have a set of 14 maps ready for us by our next meeting, probably by the end of this month, which is just a few days away. They'll have different analysis. One will be conservation focus areas that they've done through their analysis. And then they'll have the finished final report done mid-March, probably by our March meeting. And then we'll review that. And then they're going to make a presentation to us, but I'd like to really encourage, we're going to do kind of a hoopla so as many people in town can see it as possible, because it's a really good NRI. So not only will this be helpful to everybody in town, but it'll access grant money for us for all kinds of things in town. Anyway, we're excited about that. The other thing that we did not too long ago, we're integrating Conservation Commission email and cloud storage into the town IT system, so that we're now, Plymouth Conservation, PlymouthNewHampshire.gov, as opposed to being on some random Google account. And that's where it's been. People have files all over the place. We have shared files that we don't know who they're shared with. So we just wanted to get it integrated so that we're a real part of the town. And it'll be very timely with this NRI, because we can share files with the planning board and they can pull up the NRI at any time. Or also, it'll allow us to put conservation easements and conservation easement monitoring reports in a place that everybody can access. And also just pull us all together, kind of pull us into the fold. So that was pretty good. I'm still in the process of making the switch. Ted's going to help me with that. Anyway, so the two important things for you guys, because if we fell off the planet, they would be things that you would kind of be like, Ashland doesn't have a conservation commission. And we've got quite a few responsibilities, but the two most important ones that are some liability to the select board are maintaining our public trail system. So I put together this maintenance cost summary for you. And it's pretty much what it costs the Conservation Commission to run. The big one is Plymouth Mountain and, of course, Walter Newton. Walter Newton is heavily used, and it takes a lot of work with our volunteers. We have a Trails Committee. Two of the members are, it's in the Conservation Commission umbrella. Two of the members are Conservation Commissioners, and two are people around town. So they single-handedly maintain and manage all of the trails in Plymouth. So it's a big task, and if we had to pay somebody to do it, this is just to give you an idea. Last year, this is from 2024, they had 135 volunteer hours. And so what we're thinking about is hopefully with the NRI that maybe we could get contract with somebody to help us run that whole area, you know, the volunteers, because now we have Conservation Commission people doing it. Greg's doing it, and Greg is also our treasurer, and Greg is also our property monitor. So we all have a lot of tasks. So anyway, this is just so you guys have an idea of what it costs. So if we went away, it would be something to consider.
Joan, if I can,
Yeah.
just quick, the trash removal, we've been getting a lot of reports of trash down at Walter Newton, as well as the mountain bike trail on the opposite side of the road on Texas Hill Road.
From
So
landowners?
we have had the highway department go out and pick up the trash to make sure the areas are remaining clear. But just so everybody knows, we're gonna put game cameras in those areas. So if we
Yeah.
do find people dumping, because there's been a considerable amount that the highway department's picked up.
Yeah.
So we'll have game cameras out there.
Can we put up
Abs-
signs that clearly mark it as a carry-in, carry-out facility and that people are expected to take?
I'd have to look at the signs, Phil, I don't know.
We could,
These are in the parking
Take that
areas
on.
where they're dumping black trash bags and, you know, just
Yeah,
everything.
so it's not even carry in, carry
Right.
out,
Household
it's more
garbage.
like people just being like, I'll
Coming
dump
by
here
and-
instead of going to the recycling.
So
yeah.
we will continue to monitor that and pick up the trash when noted, but we'll have game cameras in those areas to identify anybody who
Doesn't
is
Plymouth Mountain have one already?
disposing.
Game camera?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd have to ask Greg. And
I think I saw a sign there that said that it is monitored, so if we do have
And also,
one-
if you could keep track of, just for part of this is, we do have a spreadsheet with all the volunteer hours in it. So if you could keep track of how many times they go out there, that would be, for those particular parking areas, that would be great.
And it's strange because it's been mostly over the last 3 weeks
Really?
that it's happened. So,
You know, and we did have a
Regardless
real
of-
vandalism and problem with cars being broken into there. Yeah.
We ought to get a video surveillance sign up there regardless of whether or not there's video surveillance.
Oh, that's a good idea, yeah.
Well, we might have to be careful about that. If we imply that if we say that it is there, for sure, we may have other legal obligations if something
check.
happens.
It wouldn't
But
be the
that's good
first
to
place
know. Let me
we've done that.
write that down.
So the Walter Newton is town land, right? But the mountain bike trails are, that's private land?
Walter Newton is owned by the town.
Yeah, but the other trails are on private property that you haven't.
Fox Park is owned by the town,
Is that where one of the locations?
but we don't,
where Trash is getting dropped?
no, I was
No.
talking up on
Texas
Texas
Hill.
Hill Road,
Yeah.
across from the upper entrance to Walton Newton, right across the
Yeah.
street, there's a, I think it's mountain bike,
Race trails?
yeah, sort of, it's all, you know,
right in that area.
multi-use. Yeah. And then there's trails up on Falver you know, on the old Barber property, their private property.
I don't know that one, but that's
I
okay.
do.
And
I know
Plymouth, has it happened in the parking lot at Plymouth Mountain?
No, it's just in these two lots, the newer one on Texas Hill Road, and then the one below,
Interesting.
at the intersection of Cummings Hill, right there in that parking area.
Yeah, I'll be seeing Greg shortly, so.
Just those two have been identified and pointed out to us.
Okay,
And like I said, the highway department went right out and cleaned it up and took care of it.
well,
Seems
great,
silly
that's-
that people would dump trash, considering there's no fee for disposal at our transfer station. The only issue is getting it there, but, I would suggest that if we can do anything to enforce anti-dumping, I would support that.
Okay, and the other important thing is our conservation easements. So the good news is, Anne was kind enough to have them all printed out, and I reviewed them all, and then I talked to Barbara Richter, who's head of the State Conservation Association, and asked her what other towns do in situations where they have conservation easements. And so she sent me all kinds of very good information. And it turns out we have 7 conservation easements. 4 of them we hold easements with DES, and they do the monitoring, and they're responsible for easement violation as much as we are. So we've never gotten their monitoring reports, but I would like to. So I'll be requesting that from them. And then we have 3 other easements. We monitor 4 properties. One of them is Walter Newton, because it was, that project was an L-chip project, and they require that we send them monitoring reports, which we do. And then the other 3 are privately owned. One is by Scott and Amy Bailey. One is Walters, that are next to Walter Newton, the sons of the people that donated the land. And the third one is Green Acres Woodland. And so we have great relationships with them, and we have a record of monitoring reports. So to try to come up with a way to make sure that things stay consistent from here on in, from all this information I got, I put together this little risk assessment for myself and other people on the Conservation Commission, but also for the recommendations. And we have followed these recommendations for the easements we have now. And then should somebody propose that we have a conservation easement, the town hold a conservation easement, in the future, we can look through this list of risks and say we're not really interested. I mean, personally, I don't feel it's in the best interest of the town to hold conservation easements, just because the Conservation Commission is volunteers, and you guys are volunteers, and it passes, things change hands very quickly, as you'll see in these risks. But the other thing that I found, that I got from Barbara Richter, was a policy, guidelines and policies that the city of Concord is doing. So I'm going to take that and whittle it down to match Plymouth. So we have policies for our current conservation easements and guidelines for how to, oversee these easements, so that should they change hands, because the landowner can sell them anytime, or when everybody changes, tasks, when I'm gone and you guys are no longer around, there's policies that can be followed. So, but that made me really happy, because I just got, having to come before you guys made me really start digging into things, and we're in good shape. I don't think there's any risk, really. As soon as I get that stuff for DES, for the DES tour Walmart, that happened when Walmart happened in June, Hammond Rowan, and tour with McGinley over by Riverside Landing. And when there's been a few questions that we've wanted to offer a trail on that easement, DES came in and said, no, we won't agree to that. So they've got as much say as we do in these. So the last thing for me to do is to check with DES, and then we'll get these policies together. And they'll be in a folder, so you guys can access them. We'll put them in a shared folder.
So John, you mentioned that you wouldn't necessarily recommend that the town hold the easements. Who would you recommend hold these easements for everybody else's benefit? I
A
know.
land trust. The really nice thing is the Lakes Region Conservation Trust has just taken Plymouth into their catchment area. And I suggested to the Conservation Commission, I said, I don't think it would be a bad idea to have our easements go with them, because they have staff, they're accredited, they have requirements, and they also are under the umbrella of the National Land Trust Alliance insurance program. So anytime there's an easement violation, the insurance, the umbrella insurance kicks in for them. So it would be much better. I mean, I had another sheet that was all the costs of, if there's a violation on these easements. And one of the things that Concord has in their policy is that if there's a violation with one of our conservation easements, whether it's the landowner or an abutter, once we litigate that, then we go back to the landowner for money, and it's in their policies for them to pay a portion of it, or a large portion of it, or most of it. But right now, I don't see that as a problem, and I think what I'll do is more digging and keep you, Scott, appraised, and you guys, if I come up with anything else.
Is there a downside to being part of that?
Of,
Putting our easements under this land trust?
well, it's not it's whether or not Lakes Region Conservation Trust. Also, there's Pemmy Baker Land Trust,
Okay.
whether they'd take our easements.
So there's
I mean, the
no
reason the
downside for
Land
us
Trust
not
took the
to.
Oxbow is because their portfolio of properties, the Squam Lakes Conservation Trust, didn't have enough. The national accreditation system requires a certain level of public access, because they're getting tax breaks for this, and they didn't have enough, and so that added to their portfolio. So I do know that Lakes Region Conservation Trust is working. We have a conservation committee with the Conservation Commission. We have 3 committees: a conservation committee, a trails committee, and an invasive species committee that sort of have their own meetings separate from ours. And the Conservation Committee is using Lakes Region Conservation Trust to possibly put an easement on the Roby Farm property. Because as you'll see when the NRI comes out, that Baker River, that particular land has got incredible natural resources that are not, because we have Baker River and the Pemmy coming together, we've got this unique bundle of really, really valuable resources. So this will come out in the NRI. But there's where we're thinking about focusing, as a Conservation Commission, our attention on those properties. And hopefully one day, everybody's always saying, when are we going to put a conservation easement help them put a conservation easement on Longview Farm. And we said, it's not for the Conservation Commission to do, but we have a pocket of money that we've told people like that we will use our money to help individuals put easements on their properties. It's not cheap. You have to get a survey, you have to get 2 appraisals, and sometimes it can be restrictive for people. So that's a better use of our money than spending the money getting an easement, because to hold an easement is expensive, have the easement written. And it's also better use of our money, we think, than purchasing land. So the other big question is, should we get an easement on Walter Newton and get help managing that? Because we own it, and we could sell it at any point, and then it would be whatever. It's not protected land, unless it has an easement. So We also, one of the things that they recommend is that we have a conservation fund, and I do know there's 10 grand, right, from McGinley gave us
For that particular easement, yes.
for that easement. A question is whether or not that could be used as part, if we could start a conservation, an easement of, it's called a stewardship, conservation easement stewardship fund.
Currently, there is a capital reserve fund that is set aside for the Conservation Commission at the request of the Select Board. $5,000 a year goes into that fund for conservation easement land purchase as well.
Yeah.
That money
Okay.
is set aside.
Because if Greg or whoever decides they're not going to monitor, then we'd probably have to pay, we'd have to pay people to monitor.
We'd like to know if he is thinking that now. We're right in the middle of budgets, so if we need to do something different with the
Sorry.
budget, we want to make sure that we do that now, so.
Yeah, the best thing is to get that 10 grand open so we could use it for all the properties and start that fund.
I would have to look at that.
Yeah.
We'll look at that together.
Are there services that will do easement monitoring if an individual like Greg doesn't want to do it?
Yes. Yes, NHACC, New Hampshire Association of Conservation Commissions, does know of people that will do that.
And what do we know about the easements that the town is currently responsible for monitoring? Is it possible, are those written into the recorded easements? Is it possible to assign those to another party? Would we be able to transfer responsibility to Lakes Region if they were willing to take that on? If we do, is there a fee associated with that? Do we pay them to take the responsibility? Have we considered that?
If we hold the easement, then we're responsible.
But can we transfer the easement to someone else? Yes. That's my question, I guess.
And if we transfer it to them, then they are responsible for monitoring, for writing up a thing called a baseline documentation report that documents the state of the property when it went in easement,
Is there a
which we do
cost?
not have for those 3 easements. We don't have baselines,
Would there be a downside to the town giving up those easements if another organization was willing to take them?
I don't think so,
Yeah, I feel the same way.
yeah.
Would there be a cost associated with them taking on those easements from the town? No?
I don't think
Legal
so.
transfer fee or anything
Right.
like that?
I mean,
Something?
I think it would be nominal. I'll talk to
Yeah.
the people,
Aren't these recorded legal documents? I mean, at least, if nothing else, I assume there would be a recording fee with the county.
yeah. I mean, I'm not significant, nothing probably that isn't already in the Conservation Commission
Is there a
cash.
reason why the town took them on?
Took those easements? Probably every town in the state of New Hampshire has, because there weren't enough land trusts around to do it.
All right.
We never had Pemmy Baker. So when I got looking, I mean, it's not unusual, but when I used to work for a land trust, and I also worked for and put on presentations for the National Land Trust Alliance, and the whole idea, they always recommend that towns get out of the business. It's just not, it's not.
It's not a compatible
Complicated business
responsibility.
Yeah.
I know that many towns take either all of or a portion of the land use change tax that comes into the town and funds. Some towns do.
Some towns do, we do
Some
not.
towns do, the
What does Plymouth do
We do a $5,000 annual
instead of?
the
Okay.
land use tax.
So that's guaranteed. If we don't take in any land use change taxes, there's no money
They
for
always get
conservation.
5,000, but we don't have,
and then they also get, so their budget is like, I don't know, 5,500 a year, something like that. If they only spend 2, the remaining 35 also goes into their fund,
right, because
Separate
we're
fund.
putting it in a capital reserve fund for them. Yeah.
a separate fund for
So
that.
it
So potentially they're up
persists
to.
over years.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, many of those things we consider, I think probably getting the easements from us to somebody else would probably be something the Conservation Commission, our Conservation Fund would assume that we'd pay for. I don't want to ask others on the commission. I'll just keep that little piece of information to myself. But it's all our taxes.
I'm wondering if, I know that, the White Mountain National Forest requires a parking fee if you're gonna use any of the trails and you're parking at trailheads. I'm wondering, could we have a QR code at trailheads where if people using the trails wanted to support the town's maintenance, they could choose to donate? Could we set up something like a payment portal that went directly to a conservation fund with the town?
I know Maine does.
I don't know.
That's a really good idea.
We were up
it's a
there
good
last
idea.
weekend, and that's all you have to do is
Yeah.
right in front of
If
the
we could have
house.
signs printed with a QR
Yeah.
code that simply went
Taking
to
credit
a donation portal that went to the town, Town of Plymouth website, and
Yep.
people could make a donation to trail maintenance. I mean, I think that would be
Yeah,
a
that's
good
a
way
really
to
good
offset
idea.
That
some
shouldn't
of
be
those
that hard to
costs.
Do we have an established relationship with a credit card vendor that
We do.
they could do that with?
We do.
That wouldn't take us into PCI compliance?
Oh, that's the other thing.
We-
Accepting
It's a fee.
payments is.
Well, as long as we are not holding the data that
Credit
it
card.
passed through, we're good.
Right.
We
Right.
have that, and we pass our PCI compliant
Right.
So
annually.
you still have to do that small attestation every year, right?
Oh, yes. So we'll look into that. I'll see if I'll be in touch
Just a
with you.
suggestion
Great
to look
idea.
Yeah,
into.
because then it could just be a
Yeah.
webpage, and then
Yep.
you scan the QR code, you go to the
I
webpage,
mean,
and
some people are overcome by beauty when they finish a hike and are happy to make a donation. But it-
Oh, yeah, I mean, when I see something like that, I always
Yep.
do it. Mm-hmm.
So all of this when I was in Iceland. Had payments at trailheads and whatnot.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, and we increasingly have people coming here for ecotourism and
Yep.
out of town people using those trails.
Right.
Brought in.
I don't think
$100 a
my
year would be
volunteer
worth it.
hours get recorded, but I volunteer to maintain some of the mountain bike trails above Fox Pond, which are on private property.
I bet they are, because this list was amazing when Greg sent it to me.
I don't think I've given them to anybody.
Oh.
I might tell Greg England that I went and did it, but
Well,
He writes that
get
hour
it
down, puts
recorded,
in his
because we
spreadsheet.
need that for grants.
good.
I mean, the fact that when you look at this is all, we're,
I'm not that organized.
that's okay.
Text Greg. Just text Greg.
Anyway, there's my 15 minutes, and I tried,
Good job.
Yeah, you did great, Joe.
Thank
Yeah. That was a
and I'll be back
lot of
next year.
Good info.
really valuable info, yeah. And I think that, your idea is worth following up on for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't want to mandate it, but at the same time, if we could
No, but
provide
if
an
it's-
option.
Yeah,
for
yeah, an
option would be great.
donations,
Yep.
Do a little research and see if it's worth doing.
We could put another one in that says if you want to leave your trash here, make a donation and make it really big.
Yeah,
Mandatory donation for trash deposits.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I'll be
$1,000
sure to
Yeah.
keep you posted with if we get any, but I haven't even really tried with Lakes Region Conservation Trust, but I've used to work with them and do contract work for them, so I'll just go over one day, drive over there and have a conversation and see if we can get them to jump on board. Fortunately, the Conservation Commission members, who some of them balked at the idea of us giving those up, they're now sort of
On board.
on board. Yep.
Interesting.
If any of your conservation commission members are so inclined, the energy commission could use a couple extra members and alternates if anybody has that.
Oh, I was about to say the same to you. We have a lot of, what did you used to be able to say? We have a lot of Indians, so we need a couple more chiefs, right, Ted? Yeah,
yes, we need a couple more chiefs.
yeah. Well, I said, we gotta recruit somebody, I can't, yeah, anyway.
I think I just heard Phil volunteer.
I can't. You're there.
There you go.
Maybe next year. Maybe next year.
You could lead the commission.
You can have an alternate.
Thank you, Joan.
You have an alternate.
Yeah, I think we're gonna grab another alternate, somebody that can keep up with, get the minutes done and all that.
Not me.
Yeah, an administrative alternate. You don't want all these conservation types, they don't want to do anything but be outside.
Oh,
Thank you,
stop.
guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, let's go back to the recycling department, HB Logging LLC, chipping and removal of the brush pile. Invoice here, purchase order here.
So you have a purchase order in front of you tonight, and those that have been to the recycling center, the brush pile, debris pile, had really gotten away from the recycling center due to minimal staff
And
at the
burn-
recycling
and
center
burn ban probably too.
and the burn ban. So,
Do they ever burn that?
no, but people would burn it at home versus
Statewide.
bringing it into the
Yeah.
recycling center.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, Jim reached out to many companies to see if they would come in and chip that. Unfortunately, it's going to take a special type of chipper to come in and clean up that entire area. So we did get 2 quotes. One quote from HB Logging out of Monroe, New Hampshire, that will come in and chip everything, clean everything up, and haul it all away. We did get a subsequent quote just recently from the Dirt Doctors out of Concord, which is $16,000, but they don't haul anything off. So the town would be responsible using our highway trucks to haul it to where? Not sure, because it's not all
It
clean
would
by,
be chips and vegetative material and.
and some bad material too.
Oh, there's
That's
bad
been mixed in
Somewhat.
there. Bad materials that are mixed in there.
Oh.
So HB Logging chips it all, hauls it off, disposes of it properly, and Dirt Doctors will chip it, but they won't haul it, they won't sort it, they won't take it away for us.
What
So-
have we historically done with the brush that's there?
Yeah.
What's that? Sal?
What have we had done in the past with the brush that's
So typically, it's been chipped on a quarterly basis, which is able to maintain the amount that comes in.
there? Chipped with our
Yeah,
with our
chipped
own equipment?
ourselves.
Is that okay?
Yep.
Yeah.
So, I did some research online with the Municipal Managers Association, and it's about 50-50 that don't accept any brush at all in their facilities because it's an added expense. And 50% accept it, and they chip it every quarter, and they hire a firm to come in and chip it, and it's monitored to make sure that the chips are in good shape and can be sold off for either breaking even or profit to the town for clean chips being sold.
Yep.
So it's kind of 50-50 split on not accepting it, and working on it on a quarterly basis. Like I said, this pile has been going on for 2.5 years, so you can see how much was thrown in there. So that's where we are now, not that we have to make a decision whether we're going to accept brush in the future, but I think it's a conversation we should have, as long as we can monitor it, as long as we can keep up with the amount of brush that comes in there and making sure it's clean brush to be chipped. But this,
Do we know what type of contaminants would prevent it from being?
there's,
Is it like asphalt or
there's asphalt,
pressure
there's,
treated wood?
there's a lot of different stuff. And this $18,000, we do have it in the recycling budget. We've been able to pull it from lines, so it's not going to overexpend the budget at all. But it will clean the area up, and this HB Logging can come in the next 2 weeks and mobilize everything and have it cleaned up. That way, it would open up that area for us to put the town sand, for residents to pick up sand, to sand their driveways, walkways, etc. So it's $18,000 to have it all chipped and hauled off.
So would we still have room then? We cleaned it up, we allowed some sand to be stored there. We would still have space to continue
Yes.
accepting
Yep.
and then
Yep.
keeping
Just
on
like it
top
has
of the
been.
chipping.
On a
once a-
quarterly basis.
Okay, so this should be a one-time
That is
hope
correct.
of.
Yes,
Caught back up.
yes, to get it cleaned up.
Okay.
Does anybody know if the university is still allowing residents to use their brush dump off Langdon Park?
I doubt it.
It was open for a long time. When I first moved to town, I would dump there all the time. And
My
my
understanding
understanding is
is-
that there was no prohibition against it.
Yeah, I think it's all locked up and secured, and they don't allow it.
Okay.
Does any
That
town
was not the case
charge
for a long
back
time.
What's that?
an additional fee to be able to dump your brush or whatever it is? And I don't know how you would maintain that,
The only problem is where the brush pile is, and if
go
someone
past the
doesn't see
wasted.
somebody coming in and they,
Gotcha.
You can just do it
it's the
without.
policing of it,
Right.
to be able to monitor it.
I
Which is
think the
tough.
other thing we can do, I mean, I'm a big one for signage. We've already talked about that a couple times tonight. Like, if we tell people, like, hey, this is for clean brush only, contaminated materials like pressure treated wood
Go up
makes
there.
it more expensive for everyone. You know, this is not for C&D. This is not for, only for clean brush.
And we could put up a trail cam.
I'm thinking QR code, actually.
Well, seriously, like,
Right,
if,
QR
just
code
tell,
right there.
like, put it on the sign, contaminants increase the cost of disposal for everyone.
The other
You know,
item is
we all
the
pay-
size of,
Yeah, right,
Material.
6 inches,
Because
right?
there's some logs in there
Yeah,
that are
right,
They
that's,
need to go through a
Old
splitter.
trees.
stumps.
That's right.
Oh, stumps. Yeah, no stumps.
So some rules.
But no, I
Oh,
agree, Phil.
I'm
We
agreeing
could,
with the rules and having it posted.
we could do some
I think
signage.
some posted rules would help people
if,
to.
if it would
at least-
help. No stumps,
It's not gonna
no
prevent
material
it
over
100%,
6
but
inches, whatever it might be.
honest people do better when they know what the rules are.
Right,
I mean,
I agree.
the other
Jim
question
can
I
tell
have
me.
is there a town-owned parcel anywhere that we could have a pile and just wait for snow and burn it?
We don't.
Yeah. There's nothing off of the property on Highland where the town highway crew is or anything like that. And I know we couldn't use the landfill is covered and that's a sensitive area. No, I'm trying to think of the other
Yeah.
towns I've lived in. There was just a brush pile where the transfer station manager would wait till a weekday when the facility wasn't open and he would just burn it when it was closed.
You still have to monitor that, right? What goes
He
in.
would though, like, and it takes some responsibility on
Right.
this on the staff, but like if you've got if your staff knows people and I mean there are always a few offenders that they crack down on, but
Right.
it's kind of up to you if the transfer station manager has the authority to tell people and fine them
Right,
whatever they need to do, like.
right.
We all pay for these things. If the
Right.
townspeople who are bringing in the wrong things understand that they're incurring large costs for the town,
Well, you don't even have to be a townsperson, right?
you do.
Checking.
Well,
Well, in theory, but no one's looking.
Yeah.
There's no one.
So they've started
Come up
they've
there.
started checking stickers. I haven't had a sticker on my car for 10 years, and I recently put one on because they said they're starting to do more verifications.
We do up at the recycling center, but
Yes,
When you
but
drive in
right,
there,
but
that's the
it's
problem.
stickers.
right.
Just ask for one.
Oh, yeah.
I
didn't know that
You're
was a
supposed
thing.
to have one.
I do know some people who violate the rules.
Yeah.
I've seen them. I said, don't live here.
You're from
Right.
Campton. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Rule number one.
Right.
You
Must be
can always,
resident.
you can always reach out and let us know that, and we'll take care of it.
She's a very
We know
special set of
people.
skills.
Okay.
We'll find out who they are.
Joey.
I know who one of them is for
Okay.
sure.
All right.
I do have concerns about the operation of the transfer station. And I know the last few times I've been there on a weekend, the staff have said that commercial operations bringing in, construction debris really overwhelms the facility and it prevents them.
I
from
thought that
being-
was not allowed.
I think technically it's not, but people do.
but they should stop them.
So that's the question, do we want to?
It's an enforcement.
Do we want to start to enforce that consistently and say,
Yes.
unless this is from a homeowner?
Homeowner debris is fine. Commercial debris is not accepted. Should not be
But
accepted.
No mattresses, no.
No, they take mattresses, they recycle those.
But you gotta pay
But for
for it.
commercial.
They do from commercial businesses in town. They take,
Correct, and there's a fee.
yes, and they pay a fee.
But I thought commercial waste like C&D, I think Jim said that the permit actually limits what they're allowed to take, right?
It does.
The DES permit, so they have grounds to say we're not permitted to take commercial volumes of C&D and turn them away.
Absolutely.
There are dumpster services available that they can put on their site and haulers will take it away.
Absolutely.
I'm fine with them enforcing that.
Yeah, me too.
The facilities are already stretched. If it was an overcapacity, if we had additional capacity, it would be fine, but it's been a problem for residents bringing up municipal waste. It gets piled up in the corner until Monday, you know, and this is like midday Saturday. They're already
Right.
starting to pile stuff up because the dumpster's full and they can't get it
Right.
switched out. You know, it sounds like it's the commercial volumes of construction debris that's the problem. And I'm fine with them enforcing that. You don't need our authority to tell them that, do you?
What's that?
You don't need our authority to tell them that, do you?
No.
Okay, yeah. No, I mean, we're just
No.
enforcing the terms
Right,
of
the
the
current.
permit.
Yeah.
Fine with that.
Go ahead.
So what do we want to do with this this purchase order? We want to approve
think-
it? Do we want to wait?
Gonna make a motion. and then-
Makes sense to approve it at this point.
Would our crews be able to find a place and dispose of this for $2,000? Right, no. I would, yeah, I like.
It would be weeks of hauling in a 6-wheel dump truck where they're bringing in trailers and
Lots of
hauling
personnel.
out.
We gave 2 members on that crew a $5,000 bonus to make that brush go away.
I'll do it.
Good luck.
Pull up my
Serve
Mazda.
ice cream.
There you go.
Calm
Free
me
ice cream.
Next year's flavor, brush pile special.
One sentence.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the $18,000 for HB Logging LLC to dispose of the chip and dispose of the brush pile at the recycling center.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Any opposed?
I do, while we're on the topic, I would like to commend the staff of the transfer station. They do a great job with the resources they have.
They do.
It's a tough thing to do.
They do. And, you know, there was a little Facebook conversation about this week, and,
Yeah.
and they were clearly on top of it, and you as well, and all very appreciated. All right. Better sign this before I forget what we're doing. What else? I've got something else in front of me in the signature file.
Oh, yes,
But not
those
on the
just need to
agenda.
be signed, I'm sorry.
Okay. What is this?
That is just a request for capital reserve funds to be released to the town according to town meeting that we had in March. That is coming out of, I believe, the municipal.
Municipal Transportation Enhancement Capital Reserve
Correct.
Account.
Yep, and that offsets the highway budget.
And that's just offset highway, just
Yes.
coming out of that fund.
Yep, that's the only one I have this year, yep. I don't need a
Already
motion.
voted
I
on,
just- yep.
yeah, it was already voted on. We're just putting pen to paper. Okay, that takes us to committee reports. Village Water and Sewer.
They haven't had a meeting since we last met, but they are going to be doing a level of service workshop on November 3rd in the morning to talk about, what services they should be looking in and offering. So I will,
What date?
on November 3rd,
Thank you.
I will hopefully try to be able to attend that. If not, at least get an update from it.
Sounds good.
I will attend that, Jason, if we're out of the union negotiations
Okay.
that morning.
Unfortunately, I have a conflict of when it starts, but I will try to zoom over there when my conflict is done.
Planning Board?
The planning board met on the 16th. It was a good meeting. We had a notice from the town of Sandborton of a cellular tower facility hearing. So that was just a notification of a hearing for an abutting town. We received a letter from Stephen Kelly of Tenny Mountain requesting that we continue, and he suggests he would like to see the town move forward with the Tenny Mountain Overlay District as a zoning amendment to put forth the voters this year. We did discuss that. We had a site plan review for an extension request for a storage facility. This is the one that's sited off of Fairgrounds Road, just to the east of Beach Hill Road. There's kind of a back lot over there that's vacant now, and there was an approved site plan for that. Interestingly, the board did discuss the fact that our current zoning would not allow that, and we would have the opportunity to deny the extension request and force them to come into compliance, but because it was approved, we decided to grant the extension request, which will allow them to continue the permit to comply with the requirements of the site plan. That doesn't come up all that often.
Yeah.
But it was of note to me in my time. And then, so the other work we did, we worked on the master plan housing chapter, and worked on a significant amount of discussion of zoning amendments and scheduling hearings for when, if the board was in support of moving those amendments forward. And it sounds like there was consensus to at least have hearings on them, and at the end of the hearings, the board will decide whether or not to put the hearings, the amendments forth to voters. Did I miss anything, Sue? All right, thank you. That's it.
Real quick, I went to the DOT presentation, question session
Yeah.
on the roundabout,
Same.
and I pulled one of the important people aside afterwards. And one of the things he did talk about is making a district that the town could then collect a tax from in order to contribute towards fund for a roundabout at Smithbridge Road.
TIF district.
A TIF district. Thank you. I couldn't remember the name of the district.
Interesting.
And I pulled Molly McCann into that conversation too. But one of the things the commissioner or the person discussed was, utilizing the TIF district in order to be able the town to help put up funds in order to contribute to the construction cost of a project such as that in the 10-year plan.
I strongly object to the downshifting of state maintenance costs to the taxpayers. I will push back on that every second of the day.
I do
It's a state
too. Somebody
highway,
actually
they
in
should be
that
paying
hearing
for it.
also suggested, maybe the town should take over these roads. And it was like,
That one is no.
that's a
but-
super bad idea, y'all.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that I wish the state would step up and do the work that they've committed to do.
Yes.
The state is running.
At least have a
mean.
conversation about an alternative solution
Yes.
to mitigate that intersection.
Yeah.
And very interesting that the commissioner has attended every other public hearing and chose not to be at the Plymouth public hearing. And every other hearing, they never limited any time that someone could speak. And at Plymouth, they limited to 3 minutes. So
I did not realize that.
was it done in fairness? And did they not know that a problem exists here?
Well,
and
they know
were
there's a
trying to
problem
avoid
here.
it?
Yeah, they know
How
there's a
could they
problem
not?
here.
It seems like they're targeting this community.
It was pretty strange. I thought, Ted and Jason both spoke, and I thought we did a good job representing our perspectives. There was a lot of good townspeople who came
It
and
was overwhelmingly,
community and
72 people.
yeah,
spoke or
72
attended.
people.
attended, but many
There was
got
a
up and
lot
spoke.
of
30
speakers. A lot of speakers.
32 spoke, I think,
Yeah.
were the numbers that I saw.
Yeah.
Wow.
And all of them spoke in favor of we need these things. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't, it was unanimous. Like many stories shared about you don't turn left at Smithbridge Road. So
Yeah.
I implored the DOT people to take that into advisement.
Yeah. I mean, somebody suggested maybe they take a ride out there and see how that left turn goes.
Yes.
And they were like, no, it doesn't sound like we want to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's where we live. Right?
We deal with this every
That's
day.
why we're bringing this
Why we're
up.
bringing it up.
We had another accident there Saturday evening around 6 o'clock.
The one thing I regret, honestly, in our representation there is I wish we had someone from the fire rescue to speak on, what
be
they had
good.
seen in terms of incidents and so, if we get a chance in 2 years or whatever it is to speak on this again, I think it would be great for us to be strategic about that and get somebody from our emergency services to speak. I didn't think of it until I was sitting there and thinking,
They can still provide public comment.
Boy, that
It's
would've
on
been
the
great.
on the website, so we can have someone
oh,
from
that's an
emergency
interesting
services
point. Yeah.
to provide
Is
public
that
comment
still
on it.
open for a couple
I
more
believe
weeks?
it's open until November or something.
I
So
think so too.
November 10th.
yeah, so
yeah, so we
It's
should.
not as impactful.
It's not
It's
as
not.
impactful, but honestly, getting it on the record, I think, still would
Yeah.
be really good.
yes,
And honestly, I'm good with us creating the all of the paper trail for someone to sue the state when someone dies at that intersection. We've said it, we've written our letters, we've had public hearings, we've said that it's dangerous, and they've said, yeah, it doesn't matter to us. I think at some point,
It's negligence.
we create risk through their negligence, and that risk either creates a path to them saying that actually this is financially important to the state, or they get sued and they change their way that they rank these things in the future. I mean, again, you don't want anybody to die at that intersection, but if what we can do when that inevitability comes is provide the material that allows somebody to go get the repercussions and maybe change the way the state thinks about these situations in the future.
I hope it's not a town vehicle.
Well, I was thinking,
Be the first one to be
especially,
a party to one of those suits.
100%. Yeah.
especially when it concerns that they were prioritizing some bike trails. Not that I'm against bike trails, but
No, absolutely.
it doesn't a safety issue.
Yeah, I mean, when
Especially
the
in comparison to
Laconia's WOW Trail is getting funded, but we can't get funding for an intersection that is clearly dangerous. It's like,
In
who's
the grand scheme of
spending
things,
money here? It's
this
very
budget,
concerning.
you know, the budget for this project isn't excessive either. Like,
no, in the scheme of things, I mean, North Main Street, I think the budget on that's $3 million. I mean,
The
$3 million is $3 million, but that's,
Did the
It's not that much
did
money.
the topic of the bridge come up?
Yeah,
did.
we did.
Yeah.
yes,
Get brought
it
up.
was discussed.
because they said, well, one of the things that we're prioritizing is fixing red line bridges. And we're like, well, we got one of those
Yeah,
too.
one of the, yeah,
Yeah, thanks.
we're on that list too.
Was that the only bridge in the town that was red listed?
Yep.
Yeah, the
The town I
other,
used to live in had like 10.
the other red listed
All
bridges is
red-listed.
in Tech
And it took
Ashland.
the
Yeah.
requirements.
fixing that one,
The
though.
Is it the
planning
one they're fixing now?
requirements to
Yeah, the one they're
utilize these
fixing
fundings were so onerous that the town said, we'll just fix it. And they paid out of pocket rather than relying on state funds. They just used town crews to replace the structure and,
Wow.
yeah.
Traffic count in the beginning of August that the Common Man roadside did, the highest was 18,000 cars per day.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
No idea.
Over that bridge at Main Street?
Past Common Man roadside on Tenny Mountain. So you
18,000
think
cars a
about
day.
the amount of cars going
Effectively,
through
that's
that
how many are going
intersection.
Yeah.
Wow.
In front of that.
Past that intersection,
Yeah.
right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Potentially up to 18,000 cars a day.
Mm.
Just fun.
Canon.
Yeah, with a stop sign.
Yeah. Wild. Anything else planning board related? Thank you for bringing up the DOT
Yes.
event. Plymouth School District.
Next meeting for the elementary school is on 11/3 at 6 PM. And the high school is at 11/4 at 5 PM.
Okay. Conservation. We heard a lot about conservation tonight. Anything to add?
No, I think Joan covered it. Their next meeting is on the 18th of November at 7 PM.
Capital Improvement Committee, we start for real
11/6.
11/6, and I just looked at that on my calendar. It's at 12:30.
We will send the budget out on the 3rd
Or before.
or before, after we do a final review tomorrow. And then we'll get that sent out.
Any notes from LRPC?
I do not have any.
So question on that. Does LRPC ever meet?
Yes.
And if they do meet, how come we're not getting any notes on it?
Well, because our people are Bill
Yeah,
and
so
John, so we need to
asked
get
them
them.
to give us sort of a quarterly update, not a monthly update.
I know,
It's probably
but-
been more than a quarter by now.
It's been more than a quarter, and it's kind of the reason why I've been asking.
Yeah, it's probably worth sending them a note and asking if we can get an update.
I can ask
That'd be
Bill.
good.
Sure.
Tom might be receptive if he's going.
I think he is attending, yeah. Parks and Rec?
I think November is we only meet quarterly, so I think it's November is our next one.
All right. Energy Commission?
Energy Commission has not met since our last meeting, but we've been, there's been some effort to coordinate between the town manager and just some information sharing about the process of getting an audit for this building. But one of the things that we did discuss at the last meeting was the potential of a warrant article to support funding to weatherize this building based on the outcome of the audit. So I think Brian, can I invite Brian to provide
Yeah.
an update on that
Would love
since he's here?
Please.
Brian Hatch.
Yeah, so 10 years ago, there was an audit of all the town meetings. I'm Brian, I'm the new guy on the Energy Commission. And the town hall stuck out like a sore thumb for the amount of money we pay for energy, especially for the square footage, but I mean, overall, it's one of the highest prices we pay for keeping a place warm and cold. And if you ask the people here, it's uncomfortable. Also, it's too cold, too hot, they all have their electric heaters somewhere. So we have an opportunity with the co-op to pay for half of an audit specifically on this building. So they're arranging that might be around $5,000, so half of that would be to pay for the audit. And what would come out of that was probably similar recommendations, but very detailed. So we'd be ready to hand over to a vendor for a bid. And it would also help us start to build a cost benefit around it. So we're talking, I think, next week. And they're
November
going to
4th at 1:30.
1:30, because he put out 1:30 works for me better. I'll check with Bill.
It's 1 or 1:30.
I love 1:30, so we'll get that price, expect it to be reasonable. I think it's a small price that we could probably pull from funds right now, especially with the half. And then, we'll start looking at price. The estimate right now at a big level is $100,000, but it could be less, there could be matching funds. Again, this audit will help us look for that funding. So.
But even if there are matching funds, if it's a $80,000 project with a $40,000 rebate, we have to budget the $80,000 and the $40,000 comes as income, right?
There you go.
Yeah, so.
Correct, yeah.
And we have put a hold in the CIP for $100,000 for that.
Yeah, and I was going to say, coincidentally, I'm sure related to all this, Grace called me today and said, where can I see the CIP? And so I pointed her at the one on the website, but that one's from last year. I'm not sure if it has that in it or not yet. I wasn't sure.
No,
No,
last
because
year
we
it was
haven't
not.
It's the
finalized
new
it.
draft that has that in it. Okay.
Right, we'll finalize that tomorrow
Yep,
morning.
and that'll be sent out to both committees,
Okay, great.
CIP.
Sorry.
Then if we have a warrant, it's gonna have to be a town meeting or any of that stuff, that'll be part of our job. So we wanted to come here tonight because the end of the year is coming soon, so.
Yeah, we appreciate it. It's good,
you.
good
Thank you,
timing
Brian.
for all that. Thanks, Brian.
And any questions, let me know and we'll hunt them down.
We do have the funds to do the audit, and we have, like I said, put the $100,000 into the capital improvement program as a placehold for that.
I love it.
Awesome.
And we're ready with the warrant, almost.
All right. And is it hot or cold here?
And how do you feel about
Yes.
the
This room is
It is
always
hot right
over
now.
conditioned. In the summer, it's too cold. In
Oh, I
the
know.
winter, it's too hot.
Yes, I'll give you that.
It's too hot right now.
Yeah.
Let's get the fix on.
All right, Chamber of Commerce.
We haven't met since 2 weeks. Yeah,
No
at
meet.
least another week.
I skipped over Budget Committee because we're meeting with CIP. Perlac, any updates from Bill?
Nope, and I will ask on that as well.
Perfect.
Yep.
Police and Fire Building Assessment Committee.
November 12th at 9 a.m. here at Town Hall, in hopes that we'll have the Phase 1 environmental study of the property back at that time.
Ooh, I already have it here. Perfect.
So I'm glad I'm not the only one who went to my phone and like, do I have that on my
Better,
calendar?
better double check. Nope, it's there. All right.
You have
Yeah, it's on my calendar.
Okay. Yeah. Union negotiations, I think.
We're talking about it in non-public tonight, but our next meeting with the union is on the 3rd of November at 8:30 a.m. right here.
Okay. And economic development?
Monday, we meet this coming Monday.
Monday. Awesome. All right. That takes us to general public comments.
She left.
She
I figured
did.
that's what Sue
all
was
that
waiting
time.
for.
So long.
Time.
She'll be back in a second.
Give her a second.
I think she just went out the door.
That's what it sounded
Yeah, I
like.
don't know.
That is what it sounded like.
All right. And then I'll make a motion to go into non-public in accordance to RSA 91-A:3, number 2, A, personnel, D, real estate, and E, lawsuits.
Oh boy, all of the above.
A, D, and E.
Good night, Brian.
Thank you,
All
Brian.
right, Brian.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Jason, you're voting.
Yes.
Phil?
Yes.
Zach? Yes. Ted?
Yes.
Mary Ann?
Yes.
Non-public it is.